Hello, I am the Irish guy, and oh wow, that Premier League weekend was insane. Let's see what happened. Right, let's go. Man City 1, Man United 2. To stay humble means to have an absence of arrogance and to recognize that you are as valuable to others. Right. Okay, that's good to know. I needed that definition because over the last few weeks, I've been starting to think this was just some Norwegian phrase, maybe like stumble, which meant, okay, everyone, start downing tools now and start showing the concentration levels of elderly hippopotamuses. Everyone start trying to copy the Chelsea meltdown move from 2015. Everyone please see how you can make arguably the greatest manager of all time look like somebody midway through a crippling divorce. I feel bad for Pep. In the same way I was devastated for Josie in 2015. To see an untouchable football great reduced to this blubbering, helpless badger searching for answers on the sidelines. I mean, back in 2015, we saw Josie come out fighting, babbling away in post-match interviews like Oscar the Grouch. Well, Guardiola, he looks genuinely heartbroken, like he's just have to bury his dog. I'm kind of worried for the guy. To now see his team lose a Manchester derby at home, his Christmas is spoiled. He's looking like someone who's been driven to the brink of insanity, as if he just spent a week in the Shining Hotel. If I was his wife, I'd be locking the doors. I'm guessing he hasn't slept in weeks. I mean, it's 4 a.m. and he's been sitting on the cold kitchen floor for hours, chewing on a dog toy and wondering how many pint glasses he can fill up with tears. Although, lads, I do feel sorry for Pep, but play the clip!
This has an away win written all over it. Sure, a goal for Haaland, yes, but I'm going for a strike from Marcus Rashford, and yeah, a winning penalty from Bruno Fernandes. Just you watch. Man United are getting the win.
Yeah, for anyone wondering, the guest this week, Josh Avesti, has had a stinker so far. 26 points. I, on the other hand, got 40. Lads, there are so many talking points from this match. Where do you want to start? I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm actually going to defend Kyle Walker. I know, it's mad because yes, he is sort of the Premier League's cartoon idiot. Man City's answer to Captain Underpants. Someone who simply can't stop having kids. Honestly, he's the type of unlucky soul who'd probably make the postbox pregnant if he tried. But look, he's now having Rasmus Højlund writing him love notes on the internet.
Manchester is red, violets are blue. What a pretty performance, but the Oscar goes to
China? To milk Shanghai like a cow? Oh no, you were referring to Walker for collapsing to the turf after Højlund pushed his head into his. Gary Neville said that Walker should feel embarrassed. I'm sorry, is this the same Gary Neville who once delivered a masterclass in Sky Sports advocating how and when a player should dive? And it's win at all costs, and that if you don't like diving, then you should give up football and go and watch violin. Yeah, this is winning at all costs. Except it's losing, but still he tried. Trying to get Højlund sent off, despite making yourself look like a pathetic ballerina. I'm sorry, but Southampton's Ben Brereton Diaz did this on the opening day of the season and was successful in getting Fabian Schär sent off for Newcastle. So if Diaz has shown already that, yeah, you can get rewarded for doing things like this, then why wouldn't you give it a go in the biggest game of the season? Højlund went charging into his face, acting like the big man. He put his head into Kyle's, so Walker's absolutely within his rights to go down and try and force the red card. Isn't it win at all costs, Gary? What happened to that? I think Højlund choosing to initiate that was stupid because he's giving the referee a decision to make. Are you really trying to intimidate Walker by slightly grazing his forehead? I'm pretty sure this is how donkeys kiss. Mental. Walker has been an embarrassing human several times in his life, yes. But this, no, win at all costs. Well, look, this is a great Man United win, although Ole Gunnar Solskjaer also picked up these smash and grab wins too, so relax a bit. Well, lads, Man City's heads are gone. I mean, Matheus Nunes, prime example of a player who is not good enough for Man City. This is an angry changing room. You've got players like Bernardo Silva saying this performance was stupid, that they play like under 15s. It's horrible. Absolutely horrid for them all right now. But to be fair, it's about time. I mean, they're going for their 5th league title in a row. This is well overdue. About time they had a horrific season to give the rest of the teams a chance. But as for Man United, what a finish from Amad Diallo at the end to force Gary Neville to once again sound like a cow giving birth. This is a springboard for Amorim to drop Rashford and Garnacho, forcing his 2-star boys, the most 2 marketable players in the squad, to now still at home, watching this while slurping tea. That could have massively backfired, but for Man United to win, wow, that is big. Wolves 1, Ipswich 2. It's happened. It's happened. Gary O'Neill is being sacked. Yeah! I win! Lads, O'Neill is not a Premier League manager. It's a catchphrase on the in-betweeners. I mean, who's the next Wolves manager? Someone called Pete.
It's a present from my mum.
The truly traumatic reign of Gaz is over. Come on then. Okay, for all of the those who thought that my dislike of this manager was so irrational that I didn't know what I was talking about, that I was just some weird donut, then, oh lads, how do you like me now? Because Bournemouth could be able to spend this Christmas in the Champions League spots, whilst O'Neill will be spending his Christmas trying to feel better by begging mall Santas for a kiss. This guy is probably sitting at home, punching the couch and watching The Grinch. Why does everybody love this man? His managerial career is a 31% win record. Yeah, this was the 100th match of his managerial career. He was probably given a big birthday cake with 100 candles on it by his mum. But lads, what are we celebrating? Because the guy has lost more than half of those games. And yet people loved him. People were confused why Bournemouth ditched him. Sorry, confused. What? The same Bournemouth team who lost 8 out of 9 matches with him at the wheel 2 Christmases ago. The same Bournemouth who polished off his last season with 4 defeats in a row. And this defeat to Ipswich was Wolves' 19th Premier League defeat since March. March is not that long ago. I've still got an Easter egg in my fridge. To think this man was actually backed to enter the race to be the England manager a few months ago. I mean, it's been revealed that the FA interviewed 10 secret candidates in private, and I bet he was one of them. I bet both he and Graham Potter were sharing a big bowl of vegan raspberry yogurt, eating it like pigs from a trough, in what must have been the most obscenely vanilla waiting room in the world. Just 2 mild-mannered blokes whose idea of a fun night is probably getting into the X-Men PJs to write Harry Potter fan fiction. You just know O'Neill is someone who fancies Hermione. The one from the Chamber of Secrets. Sorry, that's too far. Wolves against Ipswich were appalling. And I think the most damning part about all this is what a toxic dressing room Gary has created. I mean, lads, we saw Mariota being stripped of the captaincy this week after he tried to beat up Jared Bowen on Monday night. But this is even worse. You've just lost at home to Ipswich after some hilariously sloppy clown shop defending. And what happens after? Ryan and Nori has to be dragged away from the Ipswich staff, and Mateus Cunha. People have gassed him up in recent weeks, lavishing praise on him, saying he deserves a bigger move. I think the man might just have cost himself a January transfer, because it turns out he is about as nice as somebody who spits at old ladies in Tesco's. You just know he's probably BFFs with Diego Costa, because here he is, trying to beat up an old man. Lads, this Ipswich security guard, somebody who probably gets paid in cookies, he looks like your typical doddery old man you see pottering about his local Waterstones, looking for a Christmas cookbook for his wife, so she can cook him non-stop pancakes. It's tactical, you see. This is just some innocent, chubby grandpa, and yet here you have a pampered multi-millionaire like Cunha ripping the glasses off his face. Are you for real? Stealing his glasses. Who is this guy, Nelson Muntz? This is the type of behavior I would expect from 13-year-old bullies. Not filthily rich multi-millionaires who've got Lamborghinis in the car park. Not from people who are pushing 30, stealing glasses. Robbing a pensioner of the right to see? This is the equivalent of stealing someone's walking stick, or puncturing the wheels in someone's wheelchair. This was pathetic. Stealing glasses. Stealing glasses. What are you, a magpie and Father Ted? I already know that Cunha's mum did not raise him right, because if I promise you, if I was ever caught on camera stealing specs from an old man, my mum would feed my birth cert to a swan and pretend I no longer exist. Cunha, you are pathetic. And for O'Neill to have been in charge of this toxic squad, he's like the babysitter from hell. The Wolves board watching this unfold. It must be a bit like your mum coming home from the cinema after watching Magic Mike on her own. Don't get me started. And then she finds the 16-year-old babysitter smoking on the couch, whilst you and your siblings have set fire to the rug, have sprinkled diarrhea on the walls, and have already eaten 4 guinea pigs for brunch. No wonder O'Neill was instantly bent. This guy had his hand held by the English media for years. He was invited onto Sky Sports to break down a managerial masterclass. What, the guy 19th in the league? Unless he was coming on to teach Jamie Carragher how to bake the perfect Rice Krispie bun. And he had no business being on the telly. And I think it's hilarious how the Wolves board were publicly backing him just days ago. And you know, they've just gone Portuguese again, choosing to nick Vitor Pereira from Al-Shabaab. Yeah, the same man who Everton fans were protesting about years ago. That literally cost him his job, and so went to Lampard instead. I wouldn't be too hyped by this journeyman boss, lads, because ever since interviewing and failing for the Arsenal job in 2019, he's now on to his 6th job since, after flying through Shanghai, Fenerbahce, Corinthians, Flamengo, and Al-Shabaab, completely living life out of a suitcase. This is somebody who Everton fans looked at as if he was that creepy neighbor who goes to all the school Christmas plays, despite not having a kid. So yeah, going for Pereira over Moyes, this won't end well. Down to nil Tottenham 5. Has there ever been a more inevitable sacking in Premier League history? Can we stop this, please? Can we stop letting incredibly bang average English coaches weasel their way into the Premier League? I don't care if they did well to get promoted. We had this with Paul Heckingbottom a year ago. Someone who everybody knew had the star quality of an empty box of Weedos. Seeing this failed Hibs coach trying to manage in the Prem is a bit like seeing someone from the X Factor from 10 years ago now agreeing to eat camel toes in a jungle whilst Ant and Dec laugh at them. Heckingbottom never ever looked like he was able to survive in the English top flight, and we just had to sit through months and months of Sheffield United being too stubborn to admit that their manager was the human embodiment of a spider's poop. And similarly, nobody ever thought that the 38-year-old Martin, someone who 5 minutes ago was just some clumsy oafish Norwich City right back, nobody thought he'd have what it takes to keep Southampton up. He never seemed like a Premier League worthy coach ever. I mean, lads, he just lost 5-0 to Spurs. Embarrassing, sure, but he lost 5-0 last season twice in the Championship against Sunderland and Leicester. Everyone, including that dead goldfish you buried in the yard, everyone knew he was not surviving this Premier League season with his job. In the same way that you know that no high school bimbo is surviving more than the first 10 minutes of any Saw film. I know it's harsh, but can promoted clubs start getting into the rhythm of ditching their promotion hero coaches in the summer? I mean, why not? You have no problem with ruthlessly upgrading your players, so why not the manager too? I mean, maybe the Watford owners were before their time. Remember when their mafia-esque owners instantly sacked Slavica Jokanovic after promotion in 2015, but then hired Kiki Sanchez Flores as the manager, and were rewarded by finishing 13th in the Premier League and getting an FA Cup semi-final. Ain't nobody was crying for Jokanovic when they were spanking Liverpool to its 7th at Christmas, just 3 points off Champions League football. So yeah, in the summer, Southampton should have thrown Martin into a big fat garbage can and gone for a way more pragmatic Moyes instead. And you might think that would have been harsh on Russell. I promise you that would have been doing his career a favour, because if he had walked away after winning the Championship playoffs, he'd get a good job next, like the Coventry gig. But now, after leaving the Saints bottom of the league with some of the worst goal difference in Premier League history, and with this team 5-0 down at half-time, now, instead of looking like a promising up-and-coming ball-playing coach who clearly does weird things whilst watching Barcelona DVDs in the dark, he's now about as attractive as a diabetic sloth. And his next job is probably going to be Hearts? Come on, the man lost the plot. I would imagine he must have delivered the most brutal halftime team talk in Premier League history. I mean, we have seen that the guy has a short temper. He dragged off Kalamine Sulemana after just 15 minutes of the match. Did he really think he'd be able to keep the dressing room together after that? The guy was so angry and embarrassed that he didn't even wait to see the 5th goal. He was straight down the tunnel. If I was one of those Southampton players, I'd be too terrified to look him in the eye. Oh, he was probably going extra personal at the half-time, telling Flynn Downs that he looked like a Hufflepuff melt who's got the backbone of a Twix. Poor old Adam Armstrong was probably told to just give up and throw his boots in a bin and get a part-time job minding sheep on a hill. Nottingham Forest 2, Aston Villa 1. Nottingham Forest are having an epic season. I would have fully thought the Nuno Santos side would have run up by steam by now, but no, instead they're 4th above Man City halfway through December. Not a single human being alive would have predicted that in the summer. No, I refuse to believe it. And if anyone did think that, then I can also assume that they also think that penguins will one day rule the earth. They probably also think that the moon is just a big block of cheese in the sky and that Simon Cowell is a clone. But no, Forest just beat Aston Villa at home with 2 late goals to completely turn around this match. But the big takeaway from this game is the save. You know the one. We have all seen it with our eyes. I never ever thought when I saw Damian Martinez keeping goal for Arsenal back in 2012, finding himself 4-0 down against Reading at half-time, I never ever thought that this teenage cheese string would go on to win the World Cup, be crowned the world's best goalie, and oh yeah, pull out arguably the greatest save ever seen in Premier League history. I mean, Mikel Arteta choosing to sell this man in 2020 might just be the stupidest decision ever made in lockdown. And lads, I saw an old woman stealing 34 toilet rolls. 34? What happens to her when she poos? I can't really understand what I've watched to see Martinez to somehow fling out an arm and stop Dominguez's bullet header on the line with his fingertips. Lads, this guy is such a late bloomer superstar. I mean, lads, this guy was 26 years of age and losing 4-0 to Sheffield United in goal for Reading. Whoever saw this in his future? To think this world-class goalkeeper was replaced at Arsenal by a man on course for his 4th relegation. I get that Aaron Ramsdale is a lovable, smiley little chap, somebody who belongs in Nickelodeon, but I do not care if this man has an extra room in his mansion where he gives the homeless a sponge bath. I don't care if he adopts 12 children from Senegalese orphanages a week. This is Premier League football. If you want to go solely for happy vibes, then you might as well stick a Teletubby in goal. Newcastle 4, Leicester 0. Newcastle are back! Wow, what a much needed confidence boosting win. And crucially, Jamie Vardy did not score. Yay! I really did not want to have an ice cream shower. Really, I did not. I mean, not this morning. Oh no, and thankfully no. He was about as quiet as a mouse at St. James's Park. And Ufa Nistelrooy can finally experience his first defeat at this ground since 2001. Chelsea 2, Brentford 1. Look, this was a quality Chelsea win because Brentford are tricky customers. I'm incredible before this weekend. The Bees had never lost a single Premier League match at Stamford Bridge. But no, Enzo Maresca's boys did well to carve out a 2-1 win. Even Robert Sanchez had a good match in goal. Liverpool 2, Fulham 2. Are Liverpool getting spooked? Because look, with Manchester City crashing and burning, Liverpool's big threat, the big bad wolf that is Man City, they are now a meek little pig. So the easy thing will be for the Reds to take their eye off the ball and get sloppy, like they did in the second half of their last title-winning season. I mean, lads, they lost 4-0 to Man City and 3-0 against Watford. And here, this looked a little sloppy. Like Andy Robertson getting stupidly sent off for a brainless last man challenge, meaning the rest of his teammates have to play out of their skin to salvage a 2-2 draw against a very good Fulham side. And lads, I know they have a game in hand. Well, they're just 2 points above Chelsea, a team I said would finish 15th. But less about that! Still, lads, if Liverpool are showing any signs of this sort of sloppiness now, before Christmas, a bit like how Arsenal did last Christmas, it's a bit worrying. Honestly, lads, the fact that Chelsea versus Liverpool is one of the final games of the season, that couldn't be an epic title decider, could it? Could it? Brighton 1, Crystal Palace 3. Crystal Palace are back! Finally, Oliver Glasner ball is finally clicking again, and it's about time. Finally! It's only taken about 6 months. But yeah, Heroes Ismail Assar carving through the Brighton defence as if it was worm pie, and yeah, an absolutely horrible afternoon for Fabian Hurstler to lose this very strange derby, but honestly for Glasner, I think Palace are going to be fine. Arsenal 0, Everton 0. Boring. Come on, Arsenal. Do you not want to win the league? If somebody had told you in the summer that Man City would win 1 out of 11 games this season, you think the Premier League title was sewn up, that you'd be lifting this in the morning. So Arsenal, honestly, lads, if the Gunners can't capitalise on Man City's worst season in 15 years, then this really is going to be a massively missed opportunity. And it's games like this which is just unforgivable. How can you not beat Everton at home? Everton! Anyway, that's the end of it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section. What do you think of the games this week? Crazy. Absolutely insane. Anyway, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give a like, share, and subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.